Good morning, PS17. Happy Friday. Today is Friday, April 10th, 2020. If everybody could please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. We're standing tall. We're facing our flag. Hands are placed over our hearts. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for our school mission statement. We are here to be literate, innovative, and proficient scholars who will participate in rich academic learning in a nurturing environment where we will rise. This will be accomplished by creating collaborative and supportive teaching and learning systems involving the entire PS17 community. Okay, family, I'm going to flip us around today. I don't have my tripod, so forgive me. Okay, so first I want to say this is the Easter season for some of us in our community, so we wish you a happy Easter, which is coming up on Sunday. And have a great weekend. But before we part ways for the weekend, we're finishing up Rotten. We're not finishing the book, but we're finishing up our reading of it, and we've learned a lot so far. We've learned about decomposition and how things on Earth decompose other things, or what decomposition is. We learned a little bit about fungus and the role that fungus plays in decomposition. And now we're reading about worms, and we're starting to think about what they have to do with the decomposition process. I showed you a little video yesterday of some of the worms in my backyard. So let's turn to this. So remember, today's chapter is Earthworm Noses, Decomposition Selfie. Now remember, the illustrator probably put this in as a joke because worms don't wear sunglasses and play at the beach with a sand bucket and a sand shovel, right? So that's a little joke. But there's another diagram here with a term here. So let's read. Which end of a worm is which? Worms do have a front and a back. If you watch a worm, you'll see there's one end that moves forward. Earthworms don't have noses, but at the tip of their front end is a lobe of skin called a prostomium. So that must be the front of the worm. It's sensitive to touch, smell, and taste. Part nose and part tongue. Oh, that's so interesting. Part nose and part tongue. Worms suck food into a round opening at the front end, and this serves as a mouth. Oh, so if I look closer at the diagram, there's like this little opening right here. I've never seen that on a worm. That's interesting. This section is called Eat Dirt. So now I'm wondering if we're going to learn about the fact that worms eat dirt. Interesting. And how does that help the dirt? If you put a worm in a box of sand, oh, that's why the illustrator is being funny, because that's sand. If you put a worm in a box of sand, it would starve. Worms need organic material, which is like bits of plants and animals that were once alive. Interesting. As they eat, oh, here's this word again, decompose. As they eat these bits of plants and animals that were once alive, worms decompose, right? They break apart. They decompose the organic stuff in the soil, breaking it down into smaller pieces. The fungus did that too. I'm wondering if that adds nutrients to the soil and helps the soil grow, because remember, or helps plants grow in the soil. I'm making a connection back to the beginning of the book. And remember how the plant grew, the deer ate the plant, the deer passed away and its body decomposed back into the soil, which added nutrients to the soil and grew another flower for another deer to eat. So I'm wondering, when the deer's body decomposes into the soil, if sometimes earthworms can help break down that body, decompose that body. Remember, it's important to make connections to the text. Keep reading. So as they eat, worms decompose the organic stuff in the soil. They break it down into smaller pieces. Tunneling underground, so there's that diagram of the tunnels. Tunneling underground, the worm devours, like it eats hungrily, the soil that's in front of it. Down it goes through the long, thin tube of the worm's digestive system until it gets to the gizzard, a tough-walled stomach. The bits of sand squeezed in the gizzard grind up the organic material. Worms have bacteria in their stomachs, enabling them to digest tough leaves and stems. Ooh. Worms absorb some of the soil's nutrients into their bodies, but all the rest comes out the back end. I think we're going to read something funny. All the rest comes out the back end in a long, thin strand of worm poop. Ew. But I wonder if that's good for the soil, that worm poop. The polite word for it, for word poop, is castings. So let's say that instead, castings. Castings are packed with nutrients. There it is. So that worm poop, castings, are packed with nutrients, broken down, right, decomposed, and ready to be absorbed by the roots of plants. So I'm going to go back to the page where I made a connection with you just now. So here's the plant. The deer eats the plant. When the deer passes away, its body decomposes, and things that we learned about, like fungus and now worms, help break down that body, help decompose the animal body, or plants, right? Because plants were once alive. So it helps break down the plants and animal bodies that were once alive. For the earthworm, as it digests the dirt and it breaks down these things like the animal bodies and other things, that goes through the digestive system of the worm and it comes out, worm poop, as castings. And those castings help provide nutrients to the soil for other living things to grow. Very interesting. So do you see how we took parts of the book and we made connections back to the beginning of the book? That's what good readers do. Remember that. You don't just read. You read, you pause, you might go back and make connections and think. Good readers do that all the time. So I want to know that you're doing that. Please let me know that you're doing that. You're pausing throughout the book and you're having thoughts about your book. Okay, readers? PS 17, on Monday, we're going to start some poetry together. We're going to read some poetry together. Maybe we'll write some poetry together. I wish you a wonderful week. Again, for those of you celebrating Easter on Sunday, happy Easter. PS 17, have a wonderful weekend. And as always, we love you.